लास्ट चैप्टर अभी बचा है, चैप्टर 5। डे 1 टारगेट का लास्ट चैप्टर है, चैप्टर 5 मॉर्फोलॉजी ऑफ फ्लावरिंग प्लांट। The wide range in the structure of higher plant will never fail to fascinate us. Even though the angiosperm shows such a large diversity in external structure morphology, they are all characterized by presence of root, stem, leaves, flower and fruit. In chapter 2 and 3, we talk about classification of plant based on morphological and other characteristics. For any successful attempt at classification and its understanding any higher plant, or for that matter any living organism, we need to know standard technical term and standard definition. We also need to know about the possible variation in different part found in adaptation of the plant to their environment, adaptation to various habitat for protection, climbing, storage, etc. If you pull out any weed, you will see that all of them have root, stem and leaves. They may be bearing flower and fruit. The underground part of the flowering plant is the root system, while the portion above the ground form the shoot system. ये जो चैप्टर 5 मॉर्फोलॉजी ऑफ फ्लावरिंग प्लांट अभी जो मैं रीडिंग कर रहा हूँ अकॉर्डिंग टू न्यू एनसीईआरटी, ठीक है, न्यू एनसीईआरटी के अकॉर्डिंग रीडिंग कर रहा हूँ। तो कुछ ऐसे सेक्शन होगा जो ओल्ड एनसीईआरटी के अंदर होगा, वो चीज़ हम नहीं पढ़ेंगे। जो न्यू में है, न्यू एनसीईआरटी के अंदर है, वही चीज़ हम पढ़ेंगे। इन मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द डाइकोटिलेडन प्लांट द डायरेक्ट इलोंगेशन ऑफ द रेडिकल लेड टू द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ प्राइमरी रूट which grow inside the soil. It bear lateral root of several order that are referred to as secondary, tertiary, etc. roots. The primary root and its branches constitute the taproot system as is seen in the master plant. In monocotyledon plant, the primary root is short-lived and it is replaced by a large number of roots. These roots originate from the base of the stem and constitute the fibrous root system. As seen in the wheat, in some plant like grass, monstera and the banyan tree, root arise from parts of the plant other than the radicle and are called adventitious roots. The main function of the root system are absorption of water and mineral from the soil, providing a proper anchorage to the plant parts, storing reserve food material and synthesis of plant growth regulator. Region of the root. The root is covered at the apex by a thimble-like structure called the root cap. It protects the tender apex of the root as it makes its way through the soil. A few millimeters above the root cap is the region of meristematic activity. The cells of the region are very small, thin wall and with a dense protoplasm. They divide repeatedly. The cell proximal to this region undergo rapid elongation and enlargement and are responsible for the growth of the rooting length. The region is called the region of elongation. The cell of the elongation zone gradually differentiate and mature. Hence, this zone proximal to region of elongation is called the region of maturation. From this region, some of the epidermal cell from very fine and delicate thread-like structure called root hair. This root hair absorb water mineral from the soil. The stem. What are the features that distinguish stem from the root? The stem is the ascending part of the axis bearing branches, leaves, flower and fruit. It develops from the plumule of the embryo of a germinating seed. The stem bears nodes and internode. The region of the stem where leaves are born are called nodes, while internodes are the portion between two nodes. The stem bears buds which may be terminal or axillary. Stem is generally green when young and later often become woody and dark brown. The main function of the stem is spreading out branches bearing leaves, flower and fruit. It conducts water, mineral and photosynthesis. Some stem perform the function of storage of food, support protection and of vegetative propagation. The leaf. Leaf is a lateral, generally flattened structure born on the stem. It develops at the node and bear a bud in its axil. The axillary bud later develop into a branch. Leaves originate from shoot apical meristem and are arranged in an acropetal order. They are the most important vegetative organ for photosynthesis. A typical leaf consists of the three main parts: leaf base, petiole, and lamina. The leaf is attached to the stem by the leaf base and may bear two lateral small leaf-like structure called stipule. In monocotyledon, the leaf base expands into a sheath covering the stem partially or wholly. In some leguminous plant, the leaf base may become swollen, which is called the pulvinus. The petiole help hold to the blade to light, long, thin, flexible petioles allow leaf blade to flutter in wind, thereby cooling the leaf and bringing fresh air to leaf surface. The lamina or the leaf base is the green expanded part of the leaf with veins and veinlet. There is usually a middle prominent vein which is known as the midrib. Veins provide rigidity to the leaf blade and act as a channel of transport of water, mineral and food material. The shape, margin, apex, surface and context of incision of lamina varies in different leaves. Venation. The arrangement of veins and the veinlet in the lamina of leaf is termed as venation. When the veinlets form a network, the venation is termed as reticulate. When the veins run parallel to each other within a lamina, the venation is termed as parallel venation. Leaves of dicotyledon plant generally possess reticulate venation, while parallel venation is the characteristic of most monocotyledon plant. Type of leaves. A leaf is said to be simple when its lamina is entire or when incised. The incision do not touch the midrib. When the incision of the lamina reach up to the midrib, breaking it into a number of leaflets, the leaf is called compound. A bud is present in the axil of petiole in both simple and compound leaves, but not in the axil of leaflet of the compound leaf. The compound leaves may be of two types. In a pinnately compound leaf, a number of leaflets are present in a common axis, the rachis, which represent the midrib of the leaf as in neem. In palmately compound leaves, the leaflets are attached to a common point at the tip of petiole, as in silk cotton. Phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy is the pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem or branch. This is usually of three types: alternate, opposite and old. In alternate type of phyllotaxy, a single leaf arises at each node in alternate manner, as in China rose, mustard and sunflower plant. In opposite type, a pair of leaves arise at each node and lie opposite to each other, as in calotropis and guava plant. If more than two leaves arise at a node and form a whole, it is called whole, as in Alistonia. The inflorescence. A flower is a modified shoot wherein the shoot apical meristeme changes to floral meristeme. Internode do not elongate and the edges get condensed. The apex produce different kind of floral appendages laterally at successive nodes instead of leaves. When a shoot tip transfer into a flower, it is always solitary. The arrangement of flower on the floral axis is termed as inflorescence. Depending on whether the apex get develop into a flower or continues to grow, two major type of inflorescence are defined: racemose and cymose. In racemose type of inflorescence, the main axis continues to grow. The flower are borne laterally in an acrophytal succession. In cymose type of inflorescence, the main axis terminate in a flower, hence is limited in growth. The flower are borne in basipetal order. The flower is the reproductive unit in the angiosperm. It is meant for sexual reproduction. A typical flower has four different kind of whorls arranged successively on the swollen end of the stalk or pedicle called thalamus or receptacle. These are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Calyx and corolla are accessory organ, while androecium and gynoecium reproductive organ. In some flower like lily, the calyx and corolla are do not distinct and termed as perianth. When a flower has both androecium and gynoecium, it is bisexual. A flower having either only stamen or carpel is unisexual. In a symmetry, the flower may be actinomorphic radial symmetry or zygomorphic bilateral symmetry. When a flower can be divided into two equal radial in any radial plane passing through the center, it is said to be actinomorphic. Master Dhatura chilli. When it can be divided into two similar half only in one particular vertical plane, it is zygomorphic. P. Golmohar bean cassia. A flower is asymmetric, irregular, if it cannot be divided into two similar halves by any vertical plane passing through the center, as in quina. A flower may be trimerous, tetramerous, pentamerous when the floral appendages are in multiple 3, 4, 5 respectively. Flower with bracts reduced leaf found at the base of the pedicel are called bractate, and those without bract ebractate. Based on the position of calyx, corolla, androecium in respect of the ovary and thalamus, the flower are described as hypogynous, perigynous, epigynous. In the hypogynous flower, the gynoecium occupies the highest position while the other parts are situated below it. The ovary in such flower is said to be superior. Mustard, China rose and brinjal. If gynoecium is situated in the center and the part of the flower are located on the rim of the thalamus almost the same level, it is called perigynous. The ovary hair is said to be half inferior. Plum, rose, peach. In epigynous flower, the margin of thalamus grow upward, enclosing the ovary completely and getting fused with it. The other part of the flower arises above the ovary, hence the ovary is said to be inferior, as in flower of guava and cucumber and ray floret of sunflower. Parts of flower. Each flower normally has 4 floral whorls: calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. The calyx is the outermost whole of the flower and the member are called sepal. Generally, sepal are green, leaf-like, protect the flower in bud stage. The calyx may be gamosepalous, sepal united, polysepalous, sepal free. Corolla is composed of petal. Petal are usually brightly colored to attract insect for pollination like calyx. Corolla may also be gamopetalous, petal united, or polypetalous, petal free. The shape and color of corolla vary greatly in plants. Corolla may be tubular, bell shaped, funnel shaped, or wheel shaped. Estivation, the mode of arrangement of sepal or petal in floral bud with respect to the other member of the same whole is known as the estivation. The main type of estivation are valvate, twisted, imbricate, and maxillary. When sepal or petal are in a whole just touch one another at the margin without overlapping, as in calotropis, it is said to be valvate. If one margin of the appendage overlap that of the next one, and it is China rose, ladyfinger, cotton. China rose, ladyfinger, cotton, it is called twisted. If the margin of sepal or petal overlapping one another but none in any particular direction, cassia, golmohar. The estivation is called imbricate. In pea and bean flower, there are 5 petals. The largest standard overlap with 2 lateral petal wings. Largest standard overlap the 2 lateral petal wings, which in turn overlap to smallest anterior petal keel. Standard wing कील. स्टैंडर्ड सबसे बड़ा जो है, इसके बाद जो है ना 2 है थोड़ा मीडियम, उसको हम क्या बोलेंगे, विंग्स, इसके बाद कील. दिस टाइप ऑफ एस्टिवेशन इज नॉन एज वैक्सिलरी और पैप्लियोनेसिए. Androecium is composed of stamen. Each stamen, which represent the male reproductive organ, consists of a stalk or a filament and an anther. Each anther is usually bilobe and each lobe has 2 chambers. The pollen sac, the pollen grain are produced pollen sac. A sterile stamen is called staminode. Stamen of flower may be united with other member such as petal or among themselves. When stamen are attached to the petal, they are epipetalous, brinjal, एपीफाइलस when attached to the perianth. स्टैमेन जब पेटल के साथ अटैच अगर हुआ तो एपीपेटलस. स्टैमेन अगर पेरियंथ के साथ अटैच हुआ तो एपीफाइलस, as in the flower of lily. The stamen in a flower may either remain free, polyandrous, or may be united in varying degree. Stamen may be united into one bunch or one bundle monoadelphous, as in China rose, 2 bundle diadelphous, as in pea, or into more than 2 bundle polyadelphous, as in citrus. There may be a variation in the length of filament within a flower, as in salvia and mustard. Gynoecium is the female reproductive part of the flower, and it is made up of one or more carpel. A carpel consists of three parts, namely stigma, style, ovary. Ovary is the enlarged basal part on which lies on the long elongated tube. The style connect the ovary to the stigma. The style connect to the ovary to the stigma. The stigma is usually at the tip of the style, and it is the receptive surface for pollen grain. Each ovary bear one or more ovule attached to the flattened cushion-like placenta. When more than one carpel is present, they may be free, as in lotus and rose, called apocarpus. They are termed syncarpus when carpel are fused, as in mustard and tomato. After fertilization, the ovules develop into seed and ovary develop into fruit. Placentation. The arrangement of ovules within the ovary is known as placentation. The placentation are of different type, namely marginal, axial, parietal, basal, central, pericentral. In marginal placentation, the placenta form a ridge along the ventral suture of the ovary, and the ovules are born on this ridge, forming two rows, as in P. When the placenta is axial and the ovule are attached to it in multilocular ovary, the placenta said to be axial, as in China rose, tomato, lemon. In parietal placentation, the ovule develop on the inner wall of the ovary or in peripheral part. Ovary is one chamber but become two chamber due to the formation of false septum, master and argemone. When the ovules are born on central axis and septa are absent, as in dianthus and primrose, DP से इसको याद रख सकते हैं, dianthus and primrose, the placenta is called free central का example क्या है, DP, dianthus, primrose. In basal placentation, the placenta develop at the base of the ovary and a single ovule is attached to it, as in sunflower, marigold. The fruit is the characteristic feature of the flowering plant. It is mature or ripened ovary develop after fertilization. If a fruit is formed without fertilization of the ovary, it is called parthenocarpic fruit. Generally, the fruit consists of a wall or pericarp and seed. The pericarp may be dry or fleshy. When pericarp is thick and fleshy, it is differentiated into the outer epicarp, middle mesocarp, the inner endocarp. The mango and coconut, the fruit is known as drupe. They develop from monocarpellary superior ovary and are one-seeded. In mango, the pericarp is well differentiated into outer thin epicarp, a middle fleshy edible mesocarp, and inner stony hard endocarp. In coconut, which is also a drupe, the mesocarp is fibrous. The ovules after fertilization develop into seed. A seed is made up of a seed coat and an embryo. The embryo is made up of a radicle and embryonal axis and one, as in wheat, maize, or two cotyledon, as in gram and pea. Structure of a dicotyledonous seed. The outermost covering of a seed is the seed coat. The seed coat has two layers, the outer testa, the inner tegma. The hilum is a scare on the seed coat through which the developing seed or attached to the fruit. Above the hilum is a small pore called the micropyle. Within the seed coat is the embryo consisting of an embryonal axis and two cotyledon. The cotyledon are often fleshy and full of reserved food material. At the two ends of the embryonal axis are present the radicle and the plumule. In some seed, such as castor, the endosperm formed as a result of double fertilization is a food storing tissue and called endospermic seed. In plants such as bean, gram, and pea, the endosperm is not present in mature seed, and such seed are called non-endospermous. Structure of monocotyledonous seed. Generally, monocotyledonous seed are endospermic, but some, as in orchid, are not endospermic. In the seed of cereals such as maize, the seed coat is membranous and generally fused with the fruit wall. The endosperm is bulky and store food. The outer covering of endosperm separates the embryo by proteinous layer called aileron layer. The embryo is small and situated in a groove at one end of the endosperm. It consists of one large and cell-shaped cotyledon known as scutellum and short axis with a plumule and a radicle. The plumule and radicle are enclosed in a sheath which are called coleoptile and coleorhiza respectively. Semi-technical description of a typical flowering plant. Various morphological features are used to describe a flowering plant. The description has to be brief, simple and scientific language and presented in a proper sequence. The plant is described beginning with its habitat, vegetative character, root, stem, leaves and then floral character, inflorescence and floral part. After describing various parts of a plant, a floral diagram and floral formula are presented. The floral formula is represented by some symbol. In the floral formula, BR stand for bracted, K stand for calyx, C stand for corolla, P stand for perianth, A stand for androecium, G for gynoecium, G और उसके नीचे एक अंडरलाइन फॉर सुपीरियर ओवरी, G और उसके ऊपर एक अंडरलाइन उसको बोले इन्फीरियर ओवरी, और एक मेल का सिंबल, फिर फीमेल सिंबल, फिर बाइसेक्सुअल प्लस, अगर प्लस एक राउंड हो, एक तुम्हारा सर्कल और उसके अंदर प्लस हो तो उसको बोलेंगे एक्टिनोमॉर्फिक, और एक परसेंटेज का सिंबल हो तो जाइगोमॉर्फिक नेचर ऑफ फ्लावर. फ्यूजन इज इंडिकेटेड बाय इनक्लोजिंग द फिगर विद इन bracket and adhesive by line drawn above the symbol of the floral parts. A floral diagram provides information about the number of parts of flower, their arrangement and the relation they have with one another. A floral diagram provides information about the number of parts of a flower, their arrangement and the relation they have with one another. The position of the mother axis with respect to the flower is represented by a dot on the top of the floral diagram. Calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium are drawn in a successive whole, calyx being the outermost and gynoecium being the center. Floral formula also show cohesion and adhesion within parts of whorls and between the whorls. The floral diagram and floral formula in figure 5.16 represent the master plant फैमिली ब्रासिकेसिए. तो फैमिली ब्रासिकेसिए का जो फ्लोरल डायग्राम है, ठीक है, वो 5.16 फिगर नंबर के अंदर रिप्रेजेंटेड है. आप एनसीईआरटी खोल के आप देख लीजिए फ्री टाइम में. अब हम एनसीईआरटी के अंदर, न्यू एनसीईआरटी के अंदर एक ही फैमिली के अंदर एक ही फैमिली के बारे में एक्सप्लेन किया गया. एक्चुअली वो जो अभी मैं पढ़ा हूँ फैमिली ब्रासिकेसिए बताया गया है, ठीक है, और एक अलग से डिटेल में फैमिली के बारे में बताया गया है, वो है सोलानेसिए. तो हम सोलानेसिए फैमिली के बारे में बात करते हैं अभी, ठीक है, पढ़ते हैं एनसीईआरटी रीडिंग. सोलानेसिए, इट इज़ ए लार्ज फैमिली commonly called as the potato family. It is widely distributed in tropics, subtropics, even temperate zone. Vegetative character, plants mostly herbs, shrubs and rarely small trees. स्टेम, वेजिटेटिव कैरेक्टर के अंदर सबसे पहले स्टेम. स्टेम कैसे होगा? हार्बेसियस, रेयरली वुडी, एरियल, इरेक्ट, सिलेंड्रिकल, ब्रांच, सॉलिड और हॉलो, हेरी और ग्लैबोरस, अंडरग्राउंड स्टेम इन पोटैटो, सोलानम ट्यूबरसम. लीव्स कैसे होगा? अल्टरनेट होगा, सिंपल होगा, रेयरली पिन्नेटली कंपाउंड होगा, एक्स स्टिपुलेट भी हो सकता, वेनेसन रेटिकुलेट होगा. फ्लोरल कैरेक्टर के अंदर इन्फ्लोरेसेंस सॉलिटरी होगा, एक्सिलरी और साइमोस एज इन सोलानम. फ्लावर बाइसेक्सुअल और एक्टिनोमॉर्फिक होगा. कैलिक्स सेपल 5 होगा. सोलानेसिए के अंदर जो सेपल है वो 5 होगा और वो यूनाइटेड होगा, मतलब मिल के रहेगा. परसिस्टेंट और वेलवेट एस्टिवेशन, मतलब सेपल का, कैलिक्स का, ठीक है, जो एस्टिवेशन होगा वो वेलवेट एस्टिवेशन. कोरोला जो है ना, मतलब पेटल, कोरोला भी 5, मतलब कैलिक्स भी 5, कोरोला मतलब पेटल भी 5, जो भी यूनाइटेड होगा वेलवेट एस्टिवेशन, मतलब कैलिक्स भी वेलवेट एस्टिवेशन, कोरोला भी वेलवेट एस्टिवेशन. एंड्रोसियम, स्टेमेन 5, एपीपेटलस, गाइनोसियम, बाइकार्पिलरी, ऑब्लिगेटेड प्लेस, सिन कार्पस, ओवरी सुपीरियर, बाइलोकुलर, प्लेसेंटा सोलन विथ मैनी ओव्यूल एक्सिल. फ्रूट कैसे होगा? बेरी होगा और कैप्सूल होगा. सीड्स मैनी एंडोस्पर्मस, सीड कैसे होगा? मैनी बहुत सारे होगा और एंडोस्पर्मा होगा. तो फ्लोरल फार्मूला क्या है? सबसे पहले एक्टिनोमॉर्फिक, बाइसेक्सुअल, के मतलब जो कैलिक्स है, और ब्रैकेट मतलब जो कैलिक्स है वो फ्यूज होगा ना एक साथ, इसलिए ब्रैकेट देके 5 होगा. फिर कोरोला सी होगा जो ब्रैकेट से 5 होगा, और एंड्रोसियम 5 होगा बट वो फ्यूज नहीं होगा, मतलब ब्रैकेट नहीं होगा, ठीक है. और तुम्हारे यहाँ पर सुपीरियर ओवरी होगा, मतलब जी और उसके नीचे अंडरलाइन और फ्यूज ब्रैकेट देके 2 लिखना होगा, ठीक है। इकोनॉमिक इंपॉर्टेंस 16 ने से का इकोनॉमिक इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है। मैनी प्लांट बिलोंगिंग टू दिस फैमिली आर सोर्स ऑफ फूड, टोमेटो, ब्रिंजल, पोटैटो, स्पाइसी चिल्ली, मेडिसिन, बेल्लाडोना, अश्वगंधा, फ्यूमिगेटरी, टोबैको, ऑर्नामेंटल पेटूनिया। तो देखिए कि अभी 5 चैप्टर एनसीईआरटी के लाइन टू लाइन रीडिंग कंप्लीट हो गया ये डे 1 में। फिर कल डे 2 का बताया जाएगा, जो वो भी 5 to 6 या 7 चैप्टर होगा एक साथ, वो भी 2-3 आवर्स के अंदर। आज का जो वीडियो जो 5 चैप्टर अभी मैं रीडिंग किया है वो ऑडियो में, अब ऑडियो में सुनिए, ठीक है। रात में जब सो जाओगे ना, सो जाओगे या रास्ते में रहोगे या ट्रैवलिंग करोगे तब सुनो आप सुकून में। या जब आपको रीडिंग करने का मन नहीं करेगा ना, तब अब इस ऑडियो को सुनिए, हेडफोन लगा के सुनने की कोशिश कीजिए। आप इसको ऑब्जर्व करने की कोशिश कीजिए माइंड में, तो आपको याद रहेगा और आपको अच्छा फील होगा और आपको एनसीईआरटी आप भूलोगे नहीं, ठीक है। तो अगर आप इसका मतलब चैप्टर वाइज अगर आप ऑडियो, अगर आप ये तो आप यूट्यूब में है, अगर आप चाहते हो सिर्फ ऑडियो सुनना, ठीक है, वो भी आपको डाउनलोड होके, ठीक है, डाउनलोड करके मिले कहीं आपको व्हाट्सअप ग्रुप में या व्हाट्सअप चैनल में या ना तो टेलीग्राम चैनल में, तो आप क्या करिए, इस चैनल के आप व्हाट्सअप चैनल भी ज्वाइन कीजिए और आप इसके टेलीग्राम चैनल भी ज्वाइन कीजिए। टेलीग्राम के अंदर मैं इसके जो ऑडियो है सेम यही ऑडियो में टेलीग्राम में ऑडियो के फॉर्म में मैं रखूँगा अपलोड करके, तुम वहाँ से सुन सकते, ठीक है। तो अगर आप यूट्यूब से नहीं सुनना चाहते हो तो टेलीग्राम भी ज्वाइन कर सकते हो, वहाँ से भी आप ऑडियो सुन सकते, ठीक है। तो आई होप आपको अच्छी तरह ये जो अभी मैं 5 चैप्टर ऑडियो मैं अभी बनाया, आई होप आपके लिए बहुत ही हेल्पफुल होगा।